even set out a call with other residents because you would not move the meeting to another location to accommodate a large crowd. It was a meeting that was held at 2 p.m. when you denied the former police chief his due process. I have requested that Zoom access be provided for those who cannot attend in person. I was told by the borough manager that the governor said that the state of emergency is over and Zoom meetings do not need to be held. Well, I called the governor's office and I was told that that is not true. The state of emergency is over, but the governor never said that. I can only assume that you don't want to have them for reasons only known to you. I have also written the borough manager requesting information regarding the borough social media policy. I have not heard back. If I have not heard back by the end of this week, then he can anticipate a right to know request. After that, I will send it to the state and ask them to require it for me. Finally, the website has been politicized, and it should not be allowed. If various media pages are going to be weaponized against other councilors that are not in the majority, then sound bites of the residents being disrespected, being told to shut up, called stupid, trifling, and ignorant should be included on all gay media platforms, as well as the legislative meeting from July that shows the council president and vice president giving each other high fives after rushing for a vote and sticking it to the residents. The part-time candidate for the police department that was under consideration is impressive. The resume is impressive. Do not play with my safety. Finally, please incorporate in your next newsletter useful information that we can use, such as recycling information, trash collection, e-waste dates, and refraining from calling the mayor a bold-faced liar in print. I do not want to see, which I did not see on the official videos, but I do not want to see pictures of councilors giving each other high fives. It's not right and it's disrespectful. And for those who didn't access the website, that is the high five. I don't think that's cute, funny, or professional.
Kyle McIntyre.
Hello, my name is Kyle McIntyre. I'm here to speak about 4D. On behalf of my organization, UDTJ, we would like to continuously request for the DOJ to be involved in the Sean Morco case, especially when it comes to the review of the borough's policies. It's important to have transparency in our departments as well as legitimacy in our departments. And at this point, we feel as the community, the only way to do that is to bring in an outside party, which would be the Department of Justice. So we will continue to ask for the DOJ to become involved in this case, and that the borough should request their involvement and should go along with the community's wishes. Thank you.
Colin Kennedy.
I do believe that Mayor Hopkins did contact the Department of Justice. I'm not sure if he's going to be allowed to speak, but
Yeah, I was going to mention that. Thank you for mentioning that. So the last meeting, not everyone stayed, but Mayor Hopkins contacted the U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District. That being said, I think it would be really powerful if the whole Borough Council unanimously also sided with that, like just bipartisanly or whatever you want to call it. The second thing that I just wanted to note is that I just write to no request and thank you for giving these to me, the policies and procedures, and I think it's pretty unlikely that all of our police officers have this memorized, and if they're not memorizing the policies, they're not real policies, right? So that just goes to show that the DOJ stuff is really, really important. And then the last thing I wanted to mention is that I emailed, and feel free to write your own if you don't want to use what we came up with, but we came up with a rough draft of a resolution that you can pass at your next meeting to try and get DOJ involved. So I just want to make sure that everybody knew that I said that. Thank you.
Ms. Lee, take note and requests are fulfilled.
Budget.
Copies are given.
On the budget, you may come forward, please.
I guess. Good evening, everyone. As elected officials, first and foremost, you are elected to serve the public good and represent the interest of the citizens. As a council, you are failing miserably in doing that. People have advised you of your failure. Your fellow councilors have advised you of your failure. Independent outside observers such as Carol Cassini, remember her? She was here in support of Sean's family. She also told you how disappointed she was in the council president. In her words, she said, you needed to listen to your fellow councilors. You are not listening. The residents have told you we no longer feel safe and we no longer see police patrolling the streets the way they should. The mayor's report also indicated crime has increased. Yet, it seems as if every chance you get, you try to defund the police, handicap the police, disrespect the mayor, disrespect every single resident that speaks up about their concerns. At the last council, residents were told that our opinion did not belong here in this council. I am very disheartened about that. I am a tax-paying resident and I am concerned. And whether or not you agree with me or not, I have a right to have my concerns listened to and be heard. When Colleen Kennedy asked if you were referring to her, you made it a point to say, no, we're not referring to the activists. So you're just referring to the opinions of the residents. Residents have a right to be heard. We have a right to be heard.
Are you listening, Sharon? You're
No,
reviewing
she's
the
not.
AP list instead of listening to your constituents.
Why are you not spending on the police when we're spending on everything else?
Right.
Public safety is one of the most important priorities that this borough should be spending on. Yet we are always choosing to defund the police every chance you get. Is it because that if you add to the police force, you feel that it's mittens that the police are understaffed? They were understaffed. We are also looking at insurance premiums now. Why? Did we find out that we're no longer covered if
Come on.
the insurance, if the elections go against us? At the last council meeting, it was pretty obvious that you wanted to table the motion to hire the part-time officer. Why? What happened? Did signals get crossed and we were supposed to table it? Are we now voting to rescind that because you want to fix what you wanted to get last time? How do we get you to listen and focus on public safety? How do we get you to actually listen to the residents? Yes, I see every single one, well, not every single one, but the ones that care about public safety are actually looking at me and listening. The ones that don't are not. I am very concerned also with regards to the media policy. I am concerned how we are allowing council and we're using Gary Court to weaponize the taxpayer dollars to use the website against certain counselors. That is wrong. Mr. Solicitor, I'm also calling on you. You need to start taking a look with regards to the actions of these counselors. And if you see something that is wrong, it needs to be reported. There are various Sunshine Act violations that are occurring on a consistent basis. That is wrong. The actions with regards to the website going against specific counselors, that is wrong. If we're
Your
going to
time is up, ma'am.
that's fine, but we need to fix this. Thank you.
Mr. Ronald Green.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening, Mr. Green.
How you doing? I'm not gonna stay a bit long. I am a concerned citizen. Where is service and protect that? I don't blame the officers. I blame you all. I call 911 all the time. They say we got one patrol. I call again, they say, Mr. Green, it's the same thing. We only have two. So I see boys running around here with black hoodies. I call them to serve and protect. They don't come out. All right, I want to make this quick. So in other words, they will come out for something dumb. Last night I had my music up loud. They came out to my house. I need everybody's attention. I don't want no, I don't like this. I want y'all to hear me and I want you to look at me.
That means you, Lauren,
Right
Sharon,
now, we
Sylvia.
are not safe here. I have relatives Also, the traffic safety. Where is the camera for the intersection here? I heard rumors about,
Why are you talking while he's speaking?
yeah, that's what I'm saying, it's very rude. That's why.
First of all, this is not an agenda
Let me say
item.
this. I'm a
Public
first
safety, you're
leader.
talking about rescinding a police officer. That's on the agenda.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Where is the camera? I walk out there early morning, I see cars coming from Baltimore. Whoop. Where? I don't see patrol cars in the morning. I sit on my porch. Only time they come out is when I open my mouth. I want to say this. They called the sheriffs on me. Because, a week ago, early in the morning. The sheriff said to me, he said, I know you. I see all the good things you do out there. Because I said, you want to search me? A guy was doing more than 15 miles. I had my camera. He came back around. Why are you taking that? I said, that says 15. He got smart with me. I said, okay. I went. I'm not a violent person. When I came out, he took off. Next thing I know, the white trucks from Darby, wherever they came from, the sheriffs. Then one patrol car from this area. We need people to see our men. You can put up as many signs, slow down. But from Barry to Fern, we need four-way stop signs. From Rose Street down Barry, we need four-way street signs. I'm telling y'all. Good evening.
Thank you.
Liz Agatovich. Elizabeth.
To recap last week's meeting, Carlette left as usual right after the voting was finished. Then Lieutenant Burns gave the police report and requested that a highly qualified candidate be hired. Sharon questioned Lieutenant Burns' ability to discern the candidate's qualifications, even though she was completely fine with Isaac, who's nearly computer illiterate, deciding that an event planner could be a webmaster. As we know, Lieutenant Burns has the rank of police lieutenant and is extremely qualified to vet candidates for the police department. Liana Roadcloud made a motion to hire Daniel Pettyjohn as a part-time officer. Nicole Beatty seconded the motion. Talia Jones-Waters made a motion to table hiring the officer. Sharon seconded the motion to table hiring her. Sharon had a private sidebar conversation with Loren Johnson, trying to talk Loren into doing what she wanted. Loren took to heart the words of all the residents who had spoken about the problems we have been seeing in the community because of the police being short-staffed. Loren stood her ground and did the right thing. The vote went through. Now Sharon has called a special meeting with her puppet Carlette Brooks at the ready to rescind this vote. As you recall, council agreed to hire 2 part-time officers in June, but we lost one to another town. Now that a second candidate is available, Sharon is behaving irrationally and playing games with our public safety. Talia, in 2016, you said you wanted more officers that looked like you. But now that we have the opportunity to hire a black female officer who all the little girls in the neighborhood can look up to, you try to table it.
Ow.
And now you're here to prevent this highly qualified candidate from serving her community and being a role model to the neighborhood children. Carlette, what are you getting for your vote? It certainly isn't the respect of the community. It's embarrassing to watch you slink back to your seat when you try to leave before Sharon is finished with you. There is no more money in the budget for more professional management services like the so-called digital marketing specialist to whom you want to throw our money. There is no money in the budget for Talia's so-called Community Appreciation Day. There is money in the budget for police officers. We are not going to forget this vote when Talia tries to get reelected next spring.
I would like to correct you. You quoted that I said I want officers to look like me. That is not the correct quote.
Are you not the majority?
Read the correct quote. Okay?
Talia Jones-Waters posted on Nextdoor, August 20th, 2016. It's great to see more officers being hired in our borough
Y'all make me come on, please.
Still had the wrong quote.
You said
Go ahead, Councilman.
So your memory is as defective as hers. Lovely.
No, your girlfriend had the wrong quote.
Here she is, out of order.
Okay, I just want to make,
Screenshot, screenshot.
I just want to,
This is in your email. Only
she wanted to know why I think the meetings, she could talk to me.
Personal attacks are not okay. You got that? Personal attacks are not okay. Did you hear that? Can we, while we're on personal attacks, can we take personal attacks off the website? Since we can't do personal attacks? Personal attacks are not okay. Councilor Jones already said it. Personal attacks.
Okay.
That's right.
Mr.
All right
And profanity's not okay either.
Sir, you have a.
Yes, y'all was done with that when I called my name, so.
Yes, sir.
Sorry. But anyway. we
It's
are-
only agenda items only, sir.
Just talk.
Okay. Go right
Say what you
ahead.
have to say.
Go right ahead, sir.
Listen, man, like I told y'all last time, I'm new here. Since I've been watching y'all, I'm noticing unaccountable behavior. And then y'all act as if y'all unaccountable with y'all decision making. Now, we've been here paying taxes, we asking y'all to speak to y'all about safety issues. Like I said before, you can't put a dollar amount on the safety of our children, but y'all have money in the budget. But the fact is, I spoke here last week, and since I've been gone, it's been people outside walking around my house, and we had a burglary. Come on. Come on. So where are the police at? 'Cause I can tell you, like I spoke before about the woman being attacked down the street and the person I was with called the police. I'm not gonna put on the spot, but she'll tell you the response time was 45 seconds to 120 seconds. Now we have people casing homes ready to break in. So if y'all not gonna make sure we're safe.
Come on
you
now.
are authorized to stand your ground law, because if somebody come to my house, don't send the police there for a homicide.
Forget about
Y'all make sure y'all do your job, and stop sending sign language when somebody make a fact. That's called an ad hominem.
Come on, tell us.
That's unaccountable behavior, and I have respect with some of the people, and I wanna work with some of the people here on this staff, but stop being unaccountable and deal with the people and their
Sir, we
concerns.
can speak with you after.
we're all talking about public safety.
Speak behind
Thank you,
closed
sir.
doors.
We need more young people to come up here and change things.
Okay. Consideration to approve additions to the August accounts payable list. Motion on the floor, please.
Second.
It's been moved and properly second. Are there any questions?
Yeah. You can start, Council.
Okay, thank you. So the AP list that was forwarded to us via email is not the same as the list that we have in our desk. It looks like there were some things added to this AP list that's on our desk. Specifically, Howard Wilbur, $1,000 for distribution of summer newsletters. $1,000.
$1,000.
1,000. That was the additional, that was placed on this. So here's the problem. Howard Wilbur, he distributed the summer newsletters. The same newsletters that were illegally placed on people's motor vehicle windshields. The same newsletters that were strewn about in the street. The same newsletters that are on sidewalks until this day. and we're paying $1,000. $1,000. Where did this vendor come from? Whose friend, whose family member is it? And who comes up with the amount of pay that someone gets for distributing newsletters? Because I see these fees fluctuate depending on who it is. So who decides unilaterally how much someone gets paid to do this? Who decides to pick and choose who distributes newsletters?
Come on now.
This is a problem. It's not a problem to you, that's why you have your face all twisted up. Because you did exactly what you want.
Counselor,
Bottom line, it's inappropriate and it's not right, and it's not right. And these are tax dollars.
Yep.
Stop playing with people's tax money.
Counselor, the
Stop
work was
it.
done, the person was compensated, it is not unusual.
They weren't compensated?
They
weren't compensated.
They shouldn't have been compensated if it's on this AP list and it hasn't been approved yet.
Were they compensated already?
Then we're going to, if you have an objection, you vote your conscience.
So we
So
have our
were they compensated? That's
We have the
important.
finance director here. Mr. Nichols, was a check issued to anyone on this AP list?
These checks are still here in the borough.
And you're certain of that?
All right, okay.
He didn't finish.
Excuse me.
Are you certain of that?
Is there any other, excuse me, is there any other questions regarding this? Are there any other questions?
You'll double check.
Are there any other questions?
So additionally,
With regards to the accounts payable list?
yes, so additionally, this Howard Wilbur, I think that it's fair for the public to understand that it is illegal in our borough to put materials on windshields, sidewalks, any other place. So I feel that paying someone to commit an illegal act is an inappropriate use of our tax dollars.
I agree.
These are the tax dollars that we pay, the codes that we've adopted to maintain the quality of life in this community. Now, we are paying people to break them. We are paying people to break the law, and that's not okay.
Now,
I know that any one of you out here would have helped distribute this newsletter for a lot less than $1,000, but that courtesy was not extended to you all. We don't know who Howard Wilbur is. We haven't seen an invoice. We don't know how many newsletters were delivered. Many of you received the same newsletter that you received before, and these newsletters are sitting on the pavements of our community all over, which means our public works officers are gonna now have to go around and clean that up, which is gonna cost us more money. So this $1,000 is not $1,000.
that's right.
So I would make a motion that we approve this accounts payable list excluding this Howard Wilbur until we have some additional.
And Councilman.
There was a motion on the floor. There's a.
Counselor,
At this point,
excuse me, ladies.
There's a motion on the floor.
Counselor,
It's a motion on the floor.
the motion's on the floor. Do you have a question?
well, at this point, the person has distributed these newsletters.
Take care.
Errors are made. I don't know why, does anyone else have someone that can distribute newsletters at a lower cost?
You know,
If so, why don't we let the borough manager know?
meeting, he said he would do it.
Who?
Michael Trent.
For how much did he say?
He didn't hit Friday.
Well, that's a problem. The man did the work. He made a mistake putting some on vehicles. There are not that many on the street. I drive all around this borough. If there are a few. And I say the man did the work, pay the man.
I don't know if he did.
Who is the
And
man?
if there's a problem, find
How many
someone
did
else
he-
to do the work.
How many did he send?
Well, we already gave him that opportunity because it was never said that we were looking for someone to distribute.
Well, you know now. We're looking
No,
now.
it's a daily. Dollar store daily.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
You still have to give
It is.
something.
It is.
can you please address my motion to amend?
Let's get the vote finished, please.
So, there was a motion to amend,
There was a motion to amend.
and it was seconded.
A motion, repeat the motion for me.
I'd like to amend this motion to exclude payment of Howard Wilbur.
And I second the motion.
Are there any discussions? Hearing none, the motion, would you indicate by raising your hand if you want to ascend this motion? Could you raise your hand?
Wait, I don't know.
Could you, to ascend, to rescind? No, not rescind. To amend the motion. Are there any votes to amend the motion? Would you indicate by raising your hand?
Yes.
To amend the motion.
I would like to amend the motion to exclude Howard Wilbur.
Okay, and those that are opposed, would you raise your hand? The motion fails to amend. Now the motion to approve the accounts payable list. Would you, if the motion's
It was already on the floor, moved and
okay, so
seconded.
those in favor of approving the accounts payable list, would you please indicate by raising your hand? Those opposed?
Yes, I
Motion
vote.
carries. Thank
As
you.
always.
Now, there's a question from Counselor Talia Jones-Waters, and your question is directed to...
I have a question next.
Either the borough manager or Northeast Nichols. Concerning the newsletters from last year, I think December, that's still sitting back there, it's like stacks and stacks of newsletters, wasted taxpayers' dollars under the Toya Monroe's leadership, and they're still sitting back there. Okay, so
Evasion
how
notice.
much money do we?
Deflection.
That's still sitting back.
Liz, how much did the newsletter, what was the difference in price between the newsletters? I think that's the question she's asking. $1,700 versus $4,500. I'm sorry. $1,700 of useful information versus $4,800. $4,800.
Still sitting back there, like thousands and thousands of that we wasted taxpayer.
Counselor, thank you for your observation. Counselor Waters.
May I ask who voted no?
Excuse me, Mr. Johnson.
I'm not done. I'm not done.
Thank you.
And then she turned around and still out current newsletters.
How do I say?
I think making accusations of stealing is inappropriate.
That's right, that's.
Inappropriate.
We're opposed against that. You shouldn't be stealing. Borough property.
There's state law against welfare fraud, but.
Welfare fraud and CCIS fraud. Don't forget that. Don't forget that. Don't forget that.
Run the tape.
Okay, all your money you stole from your partners. Don't forget that.
Run the tape.
Okay, don't forget that. Because you're the master in fraudulent.
All right, who's there?
You're the master of
My criminal record clean.
CCIS fraudulent things.
Counselor Jones.
Get your butt.
We're going to recess this meeting for 10 minutes.
And you're also running for re-election, Miss Fraud.
Go ahead. Miss Fraud. Go ahead. What else?
Okay.
What else?
Okay.
My criminal record is clean.
Let's see if you can do it.
My criminal record is clean. You should work on being clean.
Queen of fraud.
You know, the senator's having an expungement clinic.
Who's the queen of the fraud?
The senator's having an expungement clinic. You might want to attend.
I was a teacher.
You want me to spell it for you? E-X-P-U-N-G-E-M-E-N-T. Expungement. Expungement. Work on it.
All of you.
Work on it, my mom. Work on it.
It's horrible. Horrible. Don't care about me.
our police force here that's protecting our community.
She's
They're
stopping.
just.
Well, you can talk
No, sir.
Wait, Mayor. He's here. Talk to the people.
So it's not
Have your
council
report.
that you're addressing,
He
it's the mayor.
opened the police.
That's right.
So you can't tell me
That's
about
right.
the police.
That's right. That's
Give me
right.
your report, Mayor. Mayor, talk to them about what
That's
you're
right,
doing.
sir. So if you're calling the police and the police is not coming,
Come to my mayor's
hold them
floor.
accountable. Hold them accountable, sir.
Police are not coming because we don't care.
Yes, you were. Just stop screaming in my ear. Just stop screaming in my ear.
Sit somewhere else.
No, I'm not.
Well, then, this is where I'm sitting.
Don't scream in my ear.
I wasn't referring
Yes, you
to
were.
your ear.
Yes, you were. So, Mayor, when is your mayor's forum?
It's Tuesday, September 13th. It'll be an hour and a half. All right, right here. Tuesday, September 13th. This is crazy.
He's not allowed to talk.
You can talk, man.
Mayor, if you like.
I have a mayor's forum on Tuesday, September 13th.
Thank you.
All right? So if you come at 7 o'clock.
Well, we have people outside our homes today and yesterday. That's what we need to find out. What's your plans to help us make secure our community?
We need more officers.
We need more, but okay, what's your plan in the interim? I mean, because listen,
You can't do anything until council hires officers. I mean,
Yeah, we can't go.
okay,
That's
okay.
skeleton crew.
So is it when we start some kind of town watch and secure it ourselves? What are we gonna
Packages
do?
too.
So I'll tell you this,
Friday
sir.
night.
You know, this meeting was not scheduled. This meeting this was a last minute, fly by night. I need to get some stuff done. And you know where this fine officer would be if he wasn't here trying to keep order because somebody can't keep order? He would be out there patrolling. Do you see that young man sitting in the background? Sorry, Chief Chachi, I'm trying not to smile in the ear. He's also an officer. And when he was here, he would patrol when we were short. He made sure that we were safe. He made sure that we were safe. The rug is being pulled out from under us. The only thing we can do at this point is to hire more officers.
Right,
And you can see, did you see our
That's
agenda?
simple, man.
Do you see our agenda?
not meeting
That
time.
we
That's a simple, right, man? But
Yeah.
in the interim, just like before when I was a graduate student at LaSalle, and we had problems with pedophiles, I helped form what's called the Monroe, and then they had the same issue in Southwest Philly, and I helped form that too. And we worked with the police to make sure we secured those neighborhoods. And the fact is, if we understand with the police, we got plenty of heart, blood, people in here with the blood beating through their veins that's concerned about the safety of their community now. We can form something that haven't done until we can get more officers out there.
Yes, and I think that's absolutely, it has to be done at this level. It's not, you see, it's nothing getting done at this level. It has to get done at the grassroots level.
So that means we need to get rid of some people here so we can get some things done.
I think the majority of people in this audience agree.
Well, I made a suggestion, I made a suggestion, and as y'all see that it seems like nobody up here can get along. Nobody up here seems like they cannot get along. So I made a suggestion, if you guys voted us in,
I didn't.
we could respectfully resign and you have a special election and hire somebody else, vote for somebody else in.
You keep saying that.
You
but don't
can't
do it.
keep recycling the same people.
You don't resign,
Because
Carl.
you said, wait a minute, I didn't hear you. What did you say?
I said you keep saying that you could resign, but then you don't resign. You go.
Well, I said all of us.
Okay, Council.
So what, you just want me to resign?
Lead by example.
Well, first of all, let me say this to you. I really wish I would resign because this I did not sign up for.
You say that.
I did not, well, I'm saying it again so you can really fully understand me.
You come,
So
you
first
go,
of
you
all,
leave.
and that's, you know why? Let me tell you why. I leave because of this. This is why I leave. You think I want to get here and listen to the rudeness and the way everybody talks to me? I
Brooks. Okay, we're gonna resume the meeting. The next item on the agenda is the consideration for many of you that were here last Thursday. Of course, Mr. Gary Ford will no longer at the end of this month be providing any services, particularly our social media services. We have a proposal, and this can be either voted on or held over for the next meeting. But we do have a young man that was, let me just read the agenda, please. The borough manager had an opportunity to receive a resume and a proposal and a interview for this young man. And so if in fact, we certainly will need the services to maintain our social media presence and to provide information to the residents and those that are interested. Many of you may not have gotten the resume yet, so Councilor Johnson said, let's just table this one until the next meeting. So that's fine with me. But we do need to have something to cover. But I would like to put it to a vote. If you are inclined to it, you may vote for it. If you do not want to vote for this, that's fine too. So I would like to entertain the motion for Mr. Khalif Alexander. And if that's going to be, I'd like to have a motion for that. If not, then we can move on.
So moved.
Is there a second? Hearing none, the motion fails.
I have a question.
Consider, in our executive
I'm asking to be recognized.
Yes. Councilor Beatty. Okay, Councilor Monroe.
So, absent any resume or proposal, did my own research on Mr. Alexander to find out that he's a voter registration specialist that used to work out of Senator Williams' office.
Okay.
Given that their fragile majority needs to remain intact, I think that it's pretty dubious to attempt to be hiring a digital marketing specialist who has no background in website management or social media marketing at this juncture. So I really think that that's a consideration that needs to be put forth, and I think that we need more than one candidate. You're just pulling people out of a hat, cousins, uncles, brothers, whoever they are. They're just being pulled out of a hat and presented to us on the lid of a trash can, and that's not okay.
Has the position been advertised?
Would you not speak out of this audience, please?
Well, you don't answer any other one.
So has the position even been advertised?
Okay.
No, you are disrespectful.
So has the position been advertised? How do we know that we're not going to get the same? And I do know that if we accept Mr. Alexander at all, we are going to get more of the same.
Thank you for your comment. Councilor Beatty.
Well, I also had a question about who is this Khalif Alexander? Where did he come from? Because we don't have any information.
Yeah, Mr. Dawson has it. He'll forward it to you.
All right.
And there is an opportunity to have an ad placed and all of that. Mr. Dawson can do that. If you have a recommendation, you can.
Yes, I have recommendations, but if we table the motion to vote, or if the vote fails for Khalif Alexander to temporarily provide our digital marketing and our website management, who would do that in the interim?
Well, right now, we have the April firm, the lady April and her firm. But the firm that we approved last Thursday. But what you have, yes. What you have here, you don't have a full complement of services right now.
The event planner?
With the other gentleman leaving.
Okay.
And the cost for this, and Mr. Dawson has the information, It's roughly $25 an hour, off and on. We are not a real busy borough, so for example, the community day that's coming up, that event may involve 2 or 3 hours of putting data into the system. For our meetings, they can put data in the system. But where you don't have Mr. Core, you gotta replace it with somebody, and this was an economical choice. We talked about the expenses that were generated from the prior contractor. We want to move away from that and be as prudent as we can. And to do that, without thinking about it later when you don't have the services. This young man is a graduate from Delaware State University. He has been working in this tech field for a very substantial amount of time, and he's highly qualified to do this work. Mr. Johnson.
I have a question.
And if you have someone from this body or from the audience, you want to recommend someone, we'll be glad to interview them as well. So that's what we want to move away from, this idea that, I've got to criticize everything you do because I haven't had an opportunity to send somebody in. So let's move it forward then. Okay.
I have a question. So if we're going to talk about prudence looks like advertising a position, giving everyone an opportunity to apply for same if they have experience in same. I'm sorry, Mr. Dobson. Is there something you want to share?
She has the
Let's go.
Put that this table.
Let me call you for the conversation offline.
Okay. All right. Okay, so.
Our residents never got
Would
apologies.
you be quiet? Would you ask you anything?
And as far as Mr. Alexander's credentials are concerned, I actually did a little research, and to be quite honest, he does not have the experience. I literally pulled down off of his LinkedIn, which is public record, his experience. His experience includes outreach specialist, member board of trustees for Sankafa Freedom Academy Charter School, chief executive officer for Millennial Juneteenth, community and parent engagement, AmeriCorps, Vista Mayor's Office of Civic Engagement, a teacher at Marvin's Educational Services, a field coordinator at Next Gen America, an intern at the City Controller's Office in Philadelphia, a field coordinator for Work and Families Party, a junior servant leader at Philadelphia Freedom School, and it just says field for Obama for America. So with this listed experience, this gives me election vibes. I feel that we're being asked to hire someone and get paid for election assistance, but they're going to be paid by the taxpayers. Nothing on his credentials says digital management experience. Nothing. So we need to stop with the nonsense. It's in black and white. It's in black and white.
Counselor,
It's in black and white. All of his experience has to do with election and voter registration.
It was, excuse me. Okay,
It doesn't matter. It's a pattern that I'm pointing out. You're bringing people to the table for your personal agenda.
That's
people with no experience.
That is your opinion.
No, it's a fact.
It's your opinion.
It's a fact.
Look at our website.
It's a fact. Look at our website. Exactly.
Motion to table.
The motion failed. It's not even on the floor.
Yeah, the motion failed. But we cannot keep bringing people, pulling people out the hat without any experience. We need to post these positions. It should not be word of mouth.
That's right.
motion failed. It is not on the floor. There's no motion on the floor to table. All right.
All right, next.
Consideration for rescinding the whip.
I think we should give the public an explanation because they've seen the agenda and they know that.
Okay, you're not acknowledged that you're talking.
Who?
You, Councilor Monroe.
Oh, I was helping you. I was helping you. You skipped over C.
You were not acknowledged.
You skipped over C.
That's the motion. Let them put D on the floor. Put the motion on the floor.
But I just think the public needs an explanation as to why C was overlooked because the agenda is published. I'm reminding you. You're welcome.
Liz, I'm apologizing to you for raising my voice because everybody in the hand talking over one another. But anything you want to know about me and why, you can definitely ask me. I'll give you my personal number before I leave. Okay, well, and you know what? I'm not going to apply to rudeness. I'm not going to apply to mess. I'm not.
I started off nice, I wrote you emails at the beginning of the year that you did not reply to.
I sure did. I sure did. Because I watched how everybody acts. Okay?
So, what is your pleasure with regards to Mr.
No, the motion failed.
Failed. There was no motion on the floor.
Go back to sleep, Sharon.
It did fail.
So, to Councilor Monroe's question, because we agreed in executive session to remove the part about paying him, the $10,000, he's going to come to an executive session for free and give a consultation. So if we're not going to even consider expending any money, we don't have to vote of anything on the agenda.
So what he's referring to is item C on the agenda. That's all I wanted was for the people to see. They see A, B, C would be next. So we're not voting on C.
Now we're voting on D. Now we're going to raise, can we explain that? After the motion. After the motion, but you need to.
Louder so we can hear, Sharon. That's what we have a private conversation on the floor.
Shut up and stop screaming beside me.
That's what they do, she's privileged.
I think we're able to heck I want to. You need to stop that dark screaming. She thinks she's privileged.
No. It's a public meeting. I feel like it's gonna be hard to take minutes if we can't hear what they're saying.
So with the.
You did the same doggone thing when you were the president, and yet you want to attack her. You.
Okay.
You did.
Are you gonna bang that gavel or not?
Oh, now she's looking at
So that's privilege.
Oh my God.
That's privilege.
You know what? You
I don't
privilege.
I don't.
And I didn't know you was something. I would have never supported you.
A consideration to rescind the hiring of Danielle Pettyjohn as a part-time police officer. Now have a motion. Been moved and properly second to rescind the hiring of Danielle Pettyjohn as a part-time Yeadon police officer, and I would like for the finance director to give the reasoning for it. Finance director. Just the fact that we did not follow protocol.
Wait, what?
Personnel matter that I probably don't want us to discuss publicly.
Oh, it's a personnel matter that you can't discuss privately.
So it wasn't, we had an executive session and it wasn't discussed privately either. So how do we, so what is the reason that we're electing to terminate someone who we just hired last week?
Because the protocol was not followed.
What's the protocol?
The protocol was for the psychological exam and the other certifications that were required before this council could take action.
They all came back.
They do it. And it has
They
not been-
was voted, the motion. So this is the discussion part. You can't bang the gavel on the discussion part. It was moved and seconded. It was no, because the motion, I wasn't even here, and I know what the motion was. It was pending psychological evaluation.
May I please?
She was pending
I
evaluation,
did
and
not
she passed all of her
realize
evaluations.
that the resume was given to the borough the day before, and no one had a chance to. No one had, the borough manager did not have a chance to. Listen, you say you want to be transparent, you want to.
A blank should not know police officer.
And then want to turn around and rescind. You should not over the door and then turn around and take it back. You did the same mess back in January. You're incompetent.
Then you recess, right?
The motion's on the
No.
floor.
No, we're not right is right and wrong is wrong. Right is right and wrong is wrong. They done voted all their damn friends and family in. Hated, had no experience, no direction.
Not true, not true, not true, not true.
No, it's all true. You playing games for the people's sake. You playing games for the people's sake. That's what you do. That's what you do. Lieutenant Burns wasn't even aware that this was taking place.
Okay, so, the motion, those in favor of the motion carries. The motion carries.
I mean, she is a gay president.
So what I understand,
She's a woman of color.
Mayor, what I understand, the proper protocol.
Everything y'all saying y'all want.
We just want to do it the right way.
That's not true.
We've done that before.
Now, Solicitor, if you allow an improper protocol, then I'm questioning your ability.
This is not okay.
I'm questioning your ability now.
No idea what
Because
they're
that's
talking
what
about.
they say. I'm sure.
have
She said
I have no idea what they're talking about.
The motion carries. The motion carries.
it ain't no
Because
bullshit.
I have no idea what they're talking about. Our solicitor has no idea what they're talking
Do the
about.
roll call on the votes. Do the roll call.
Roll call on those.
Let the people know who voted to rescind their offer to their young lady.
That's right.
Let the people know.
For no reason.
For no reason at all.
Let them know. They need to know.
Point of order, please. Council President asked that the roll call for the motion to rescind Ms. Pettyjohn be by name. Please, Ms. excuse me. Ms. Brooks, what is your vote, please?
We have the motion on the floor.
The motion is you want names, right? To rescind.
They want you to fire that black
I'm
officer.
I'm asking.
So the answer, no.
Excuse me, point of correction, please. The motion was made. The council president, excuse me, ma'am. The council president, excuse me, ma'am. The council president asked for a motion. She said,
It was moved in second, and it was voted for with the opportunity for those who wanted to vote against it. The vote went yes to rescind. 4 votes to rescind. 4 votes to rescind.
I was not here when the vote went through.
Yes.
So, if we vote for this Danielle Petty John, in the future, will we vote her back in? Yes. After
She will still have an opportunity, yes, but
There's no reason.
We've done that before.
She's been vetted by our lieutenant and recommended.
No. You cannot. This council could not act. It was a mistake vote last Thursday because she had not gone through the certification or the psychological.
She did. She passed the psychological and the physical exam. We spoke, the mayor, myself, Councilor Rosehouse spoke to Lieutenant Burns. She passed everything. Excuse me. She passed everything.
Councilor Monroe, respectfully, I've served on council myself for 6 years. I oversaw this process. I oversaw human resources. We are violating the Sunshine Act right now. While discussing personnel matters, if we want to go into executive session quickly to discuss, we most certainly can. We've divulged too much information publicly, and we are in clear violation.
Totally.
So this is I don't need a reason.
Now you see what benefits the regime, not the party.
Ms. Carlette, they just want to take you to change your mind.
Self-interest here.
That's all it is. They want to take you to change your mind. Ms. Carlette?
He's a lesbian because I had to serve that. You said she was okay. You let her scream. This one was screaming in my ear. I have a very sensitive ear.
Oh my God.
They didn't know everybody. I have a right to sit here and not have people screaming in my ear. She does have a right to sit here. She doesn't have a right to scream in my ear. Of course you want to keep the outburst, but you got to do your job. And you got the mayor over here. What do you do? You let these people screaming out and you're not having to move them out.
Because I've done that, and they said I'm not doing a good job, so I have no confidence in me, so I'm giving up. I did it, they said that I didn't do a good job enough, so what do you want me to do? Every time I press now, they're voting me no confidence, because they don't like the job I'm doing when I did it. What are you doing? and she has a right to have you not speak.
If you don't stop it, that's
I'm not allowed to speak up there. I'm not allowed to speak up there. I have this around me. I have.
Yeah, and it was based on a contingency, and they knew that. And it was, it's okay. That's what we did. Oh, we said that.
We did that. We did say that. We did say that.
Can we go over the vote? Mr. Boggs? Mr. Boggs, can you please make sure you're present so we can fix this vote?
Returning from recess. Yes, Councilor Jones wants you.
And guess what? Why you talking? Why you talking? Don't talk to me. Why you talking? Talk to me. Why you talking? You know what?
Or turn your name and stick around. Like that.
Are we getting this? When it's all what's in it, this is it. Make sure you get the statements up.
Me too, long as it's like that. You don't ask nobody else why they go. What a bill you paid, have it. Oh, because I don't want to pay you. You don't want to pay. You can ask me why. You don't have no problem asking. They don't ask nobody.
That's right. Well, Liz, if you ask me, I'll tell you why. They encourage it because it's an act of resistance. That's called good trouble.
I know, but the bottom line is why she single me out, because I do. That's what I'm saying. Don't sing.
I can only answer for me.
I can answer for me too. I'm not going to vote for something that's not that authority.
Is this meeting called to order? I feel like, are we in a meeting? Are we in a meeting? Is anyone, are we ready? The public is here. The public is here and waiting. The public, please stop cursing on the floor. Please stop cursing. Can we get back to the business? You did it twice.
At the
You
advisement
don't lie.
of the solicitor, number D, consideration to rescind the hiring of Lieutenant Johns, the part-time police officer, hereby pulls from the floor.
So, I have a question, please. Thank you. So, if there was a vote taken, do we undo that vote? There was a vote taken, we were in the midst of roll call where Ms. Brooks changed her vote. So what are we formally doing?
It's kind of like we stopped the game at halftime. We pulled it before it was officially recorded in the minutes.
So it's not tabled, it just doesn't
It
exist?
is gone.
It is gone. Thank you. She's hired. Wait. You have minutes. Am I out of order again? But you have minutes. 2 sets of minutes. Go ahead. You can keep it for next month. I'm fine with that too. But I thought we were following the agenda. All right. I tried.
Sunday. Man. What a mess. I can't believe it.